Hi, I'm Ron.
And I'm Marie.
10 years ago, we bought a broken down trawler for $4,000.
And nothing worked, not even the kitchen sink.
After a lot of hard work and help from our friends and family, we moved aboard Elixir full time. And now we are cruising this old boat while the work and fun continues.
So subscribe and give us a like and come along with us cruising this old boat.
So it's 5 a.m. We're getting ready to get underway. Marie is pulling in the anchor. She's up there half asleep, but she's up there. So we're gonna see how this goes in the dark.
So Ron's taking over the helm, and it's pretty dark out here. We're taking it slow and easy.
We've been traveling a little over an hour, and the sun is just now starting to shed some light on the horizon. So it gives us something pretty to look at while we're cruising along instead of that blackness, that darkness that we have been traveling in for the last hour. So it's pretty. And there it is. We've been underway for about an hour and 45 minutes at this point. Pretty much lost sight of land behind us. There's no land in front of us to be seen yet. There is a ship way out there, and the sun is just coming up over the horizon. So it's a pretty nice day. It's a little wavy, but the waves are going the same direction we are, so it's not too big of a deal. And we're just relaxing and enjoying the cruise. We got this morning we just got up and immediately started doing things to get underway. Didn't eat breakfast, didn't shower, nothing. So kind of both of us all messy. In a few minutes we're gonna start getting cleaned up. Marie did make us, once we could see, when the sun was up enough that we could see, which was actually about 45 minutes ago, it brightened everything up even though the sun wasn't up yet. And Marie went down and fixed us some muffins for breakfast, which was delicious. And so yeah, our trip has started. So once we cleared all the obstacles along the Florida coast, I just set the heading on 100 degrees magnetic, and we're gonna head in that direction until hopefully we see Bimini. The 100 degrees magnetic course is actually projecting to take us to a point 20 miles south of Bimini, but because of the strong current in the Gulf Stream, we know ahead of time it's going to push us off course. And so we keep our bow pointed 100 degrees magnetic, but the entire time we're traveling it's pushing us sideways. And the end goal is that we end up in Bimini instead of that point 20 miles to the south. So we're gonna see how that goes. Well, we just got word from our buddy boat. They have weighed anchor and departed, so they're underway, and at some point they'll pass us. So it'll be interesting to see how close we are. Because of our two different speeds, we have two different vectors, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how close they are to us when they pass us. But that'll be a little while from now. We are definitely in the Gulf Stream because it is pushing us. We're doing about 8.5 knots. We normally travel at about 6 to 6.5, so this is about 2.5 knots faster than we normally travel. And so that's got to be the Gulf Stream pushing us.
So we have been, I guess I should sit down so you can see the water. It's more exciting than looking at me. We have been over here. Ooh! We have been over here to these you have a schedule, even though they say never have a schedule. And so now, you know, when you don't have a schedule and you can just say, okay, I'm going to go over there and don't know when I'm going to be back, you know, a couple months or whatever. Don't know exactly where we're going. Just going to go explore, go on an adventure.
So our speed is continuing to increase. We're doing between 9 and 9.5 knots at this point. So I find this interesting. We've been underway for about 3 hours now. You can clearly see on the chart that I'm no longer on my rum line, which is the pink line that charted out my projected point of arrival, knowing that I was going to get pushed off that line. But I'm still proceeding at 100 degrees magnetic, but the chart plotter, because of the effect of being pushed sideways, actually has me pointed directly at Bimini. It thinks that's the way I'm headed, even though the autopilot is trying to steer me at 100 degrees magnetic. So I just thought that was interesting, so you can look at your chart and see where you're really headed, even though you're telling it to go somewhere else. This is where the term the deep blue sea comes from. It is just a beautiful blue.
Elixir, reality 16, over.
This is Elixir, go ahead.
Just checking in, all's well.
All's well here. Elixir standing by on 16.
Reality back 16.
Every 30 minutes, Reality, our buddy boat, calls us on channel 16, VHF channel 16, just to make sure we're okay and let us know that they're okay. We can't see them. I imagine they can't see us. So that's just how we keep in touch, make sure we're doing okay. And if there were a problem, whoever needs to would immediately head towards the other boat. But it's just a little bit of safety net, makes you feel a little bit better being out here on your own. We're within about 25 miles of Bimini at this point, but as you can see on the chart, we're going to hit south of it. So now we're pretty much out in the middle of the Gulf Stream. So I'm going to adjust our course a little bit northward to try and hit Bimini dead on. So I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to overshoot Bimini. I'd rather hit it from the south and go north to get to it than end up on the north side of it and have to turn south. So adjust it a little bit and we'll see how it goes. We're about 20 miles away from Bimini at this point, and you can see that I'm still gonna hit too far south. So I'm going to adjust our heading a little bit more.
Do what?
I said that sailboat is still showing up on our radar, even though he's almost dead behind us. That's good to know.
Yep.
But I still don't see Roger and Lori.
They're out there somewhere.
Somewhere, so we keep hearing from them.
About every 30 minutes.
Yeah. Our speed suddenly dropped by about a knot. When I say suddenly, I don't mean I was watching it and it went boom, but I looked at it, and the next time I looked at it, it was a knot slower. So we're down to 7.4, 7.5 knots. And that lets me know we're getting out of the Gulf Stream. So I was in the radar, looking at radar. I flipped back over to my navigation chart, and it had us going way north of Bimini. So I adjusted. I had gotten the heading hold all the way down to 80 degrees to keep us on a hitting Bimini trajectory. But once our speed slowed down, that put us hitting too far north, so I've adjusted it back up to 90. I can see Bimini. It's finally in sight. It's just a little hazy on the horizon, so I know it won't show up in the camera, but I can see it. And we're about 10 miles out from it at this point, and got a pretty good course heading in it. You can see here on the chart plotter what I had to do. I kept going in 5-degree increments every now and then to keep my blue line on the my heading indicator on Bimini, and I've ended up at 80 degrees is what I finally ended up at, and that seems to be what's going to take us on into Bimini. So pretty cool. We made it to the other side. Yep, it's almost over.
Elixir, this is renovating 16 over.
This is Elixir. We're about 3 miles off your starboard bow, over.
Let's try 17.
17.
You copy.
This is Elixir, I copy.
All right, we see you over there.
Good to see you.
We're showing about 9 miles out.
That's about what I show, over.
All right, we're gonna get fuel as soon as we get in there, so we'll see you there.
Copy that.
Well, you going back 16.
Elixir standby on 16 out. Well, our buddy boat finally showed up, and they are about 3 miles off our port, you know, a little behind us to our port side. And I picked them up on radar finally and looked over there and saw a blip, and Marie looked in her binoculars, and sure enough it was them. So they did their half-hour check-in, and I said that I could see them, they said they could see us, and we can both see Bimini. So it's all coming together. Isn't that cool?
The water over here is absolutely gorgeous, and we're still in what, Ron, about 2,500 feet under us?
Yeah.
When it was over 3,000 feet, it was this really, really beautiful, dark, deep dark blue. And all I kept thinking was the deep blue sea, you know that saying about the deep blue sea? And that's the way it looked to me. But once we've gotten into, I guess you could call it shallower, 2,500 foot, something like that, then it's a lighter blue, and I'm hoping you can see it because it's absolutely gorgeous. And I'm looking forward to seeing it when it's even like 12 foot or 8 foot or 5 foot. And yeah, so I hope y'all are enjoying the trip over here with us.
Thanks for watching.